Hey guys, Arx here and welcome back to my channel. We are back with yet another KTT Switch review, and it's been a while since we last picked up a KTT Switch. So today, let's all take a look and listen at the KTT Mallo, a tactile switch with a well-rounded short bump. But first, a very quick message from our channel sponsor, the good people at PcbWay. PcbWay is your one-stop shop for all your PCB prototyping needs, and they do offer a lot of services from a lot of different kinds of PCB to choose from. They also offer CNC machining if you want your own dream custom keyboards come to life, and they also have a 3D printing. If you are interested with this kind of services, head over now to PcbWay.com, links in the description. So a quick background about the switches. This is a 5-pin tactile switches from KTT and features a minimal pre-travel and with a well-rounded short tactile bump. I did have a lot of requests in trying this out, so here we are, and I'm not gonna lie, I am a fan of short bumps, so let's all see how they perform and sound. So in today's video, it's going to be the usual a stock versus lube comparison and a sound comparison versus other KTT tactiles, and of course a material breakdown. If you all want to hear my thoughts and opinion about the Switch, please do stick around at the end of the sound test, or feel free to check the timestamps. And speaking of sound test, let's do a quick disclaimer before we start. That the sound and experience will vary depending on your keyboard build, meaning to say that it will sound and feel different depending on your board. We will be using, of course, the one and only Vega 65 with a polycarbonate plates, a plate foam, and no case foam. The switches was lubed with a Krydox 205 grade 0, and the keycaps that was used was a Domi key set. So with all of that out of the way, please do enjoy the sound test on the KTT Mallo Switches. And that was the sound test for the Mallo switches. Let me know on what you think about them on the comment section down below, and let's have some quick discussions. Before we head on to my thoughts and opinion about the switch, let's go ahead and break down the materials that was used on the switch. As you can see, this is a 5-pin switch and is using a KL style housing. We have polycarbonate for the top housing, nylon on the bottom housing, of course we have POM on the stem, and lastly the springs with a 55-gram bottom out force. And that was a material breakdown on the KTT Mallo switches. If you made it up to this point of the video, I would like to say thank you for staying, and now let's all talk about my thoughts and opinion about the switch. So finally, let's now talk about my thoughts on the feel. On stock, well, on stock, don't use them on stock. I can feel the crunch and the plastic raw feeling of the switches. I don't really see any reasons to use them on stock. I don't know if the batches that I had was really bad, so if you have a different experience on stock, so I mean, let me know on the comment section, because mine is really bad on stock. So I don't really recommend using them on stock, and of course for me most of the time I don't use my tactiles on stock. Now, once lube, you can really feel the difference. The leaf crunch or that mushy feeling when typing is, of course, gone, and more smoother when typing. I can say that lubing is really worth it with the switch. And the bottom out on these are actually pretty solid. It's snappy and you can feel them, but not to the point that it's quite aggressive. Now, focusing on the tactility, it does have a well-rounded bump that's not harsh, and I can say that it's on the light to medium tactility, and you can feel the bump a bit early to mid actuation. I love the 55-gram bottom out force. It isn't that bad as well. Pre-travel is pretty normal, nothing game-changing, and the tactility overall is on point and satisfying. And I can say at times they do feel like a light tactile, but not too light, basically in the middle in terms of the tactility. Like if you are into tactiles but you can't really commit to the bump or aggressive bumps, I suggest to check the KTT Mallo. Now, moving on to the thoughts on the sound. On stock, it's just bad. Like the spring pings are awful, and again, it has a mushy raw plastic sound to it that I don't really like, and as usual, I always lube my tactiles, so lubing them, of course, will do the magic and making it sound more subtle, removing, of course, the pings. I did lube mine a bit more than the usual, so I really focus on the leaf, stem, and rails, and of course the springs, while of course avoiding the legs of the stem to keep the tactility. Sound-wise, it has that in-between of a snappy clack and a deep sound profile, so again, it's not that harsh and aggressive with regards to the sound profile of the tactility. And to be honest, it doesn't sound that of a tactile at times and would remind you it's a tactile when you are typing and feeling the bump. I can say that they sound a bit close to the blueberry chiffon switches, which I really love. So yeah, overall it sounds really decent for a tactile switch, and it's not too aggressive, it's just a subtle tactile sound. So overall, feel and sound wise, it's more on that relaxed tactile. So if you are looking for more of that bump or tactility, this might not be the tactile for you, but I can honestly say that it has a very interesting typing feel because of that noticeable, well-rounded bump. So if you have, or if you want to try this kind of experience for the tactility, you might want to consider the KTT Mallo on your list. And to be honest, I wasn't really a fan of them at first, but using them for a week now, it kind of grew on me. But again, remember, at the end of the day, in this hobby, this will still boil down to your own preference. And that is it for the video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the review on the KTT Mallo, and I hope you find it helpful. If you do, please don't forget to hit the like button as it helps out my channel grow. And what's next? Well, we have some new Epo Maker switches, and I'm very much excited as we are trying out a semi-silent switches, so watch out for that. Again, don't forget to like the video, share if you want, and of course, subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys on the next Soundtest. Peace.